day, Global Explorers. This is your Captain Carl speaking. Welcome aboard for a journey around the world with Digital FAO and Agro-Informatics. Please fasten your seatbelts, power up your curiosity, and join us as we cruise through the digital skies towards the future of agriculture. We'll be reaching our final destination shortly.
Just a quick announcement before we take off. This session is being recorded so others can catch up at their convenience. For the comfort of all passengers, we kindly ask that you keep your microphone muted unless you're speaking. And if you have any questions during the flight, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Our crew will be happy to address them during our live Q&A. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the session.
My name is Yana, and I'll be your moderator today as we're beginning this exciting journey exploring how digital tools are reshaping agriculture, research, and education, one university at a time. Today's session is brought to you in collaboration with the Mississippi State University, and we're absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. I would like everyone to imagine this session like a flight. So Professor John from Mississippi State University and our FAO experts, Misael and Gianluca, are your captains. They will be navigating us through the world of digital agriculture and innovation. And students from Mississippi State University and our FAO colleagues from Land and Water Division, they'll be the crew leading the way of academia and research. As you could see in the video, I would just like to repeat some housekeeping notes and make sure that everyone is on the same page. So this session is being recorded. We will then share the recording link with everyone later, so you can share it with your network, with your colleagues, with your friends. I would like to remind everyone to please keep your microphone muted unless you're speaking. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to either drop them in the chat, or we will have a Q&A session after the presentation from our students from Mississippi State University and colleagues from Land and Water Division. If you're having any technical issues, don't worry about it. You can try to reconnect or try to message me directly in the chat. Perhaps even try to turn off your video. That might help sometimes. I would like to remind everyone that this series is part of FAO's commitment to empowering youth, strengthening the bridge between education and digital tools, and building global connections through innovation and collaborations. In every session, if this is your first time joining the travel around the world, we'll hear directly from the universities using tools such as the Agro-Informatics platform and the DSP, which is Digital Services Portfolio, or any other digital tools that are changing the way we understand, teach, and practice agriculture. I think we're ready to take off, and I'm very honored to welcome our Captain John. Captain John, please, over to you to officially kick off today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, and greetings to everyone joining us from around the globe. It's an honor to be a part of this international gathering and to represent Mississippi State University in FAO's travel around the world with Digital FAO and Agro-Economics Informatics workshop series. At Mississippi State, we're deeply committed to advancing global collaboration and innovation in agricultural sciences and beyond. This initiative embodies the very values that we are part of and that we champion at Mississippi State: interdisciplinary learning, meaningful global engagement, and the use of cutting-edge technology to address pressing challenges in the food and agriculture. We're particularly inspired by the focus on empowering our young students, equipping the next generation with the digital tools, artificial intelligence, and data-driven approaches is essential for building climate-smart agricultural systems that are resilient, sustainable, and fair and equitable for all. We take pride in supporting students and researchers researchers who will become the leaders and innovators of tomorrow's agri-food sector. The digital and AI-enabled resources made available through FAO are crucial in bridging research and practice. They provide practical solutions that enhance efficiency and sustainability across food systems worldwide. By working together, we can strengthen the link between knowledge and application, ensuring real-world impact. This collaboration reflects our shared commitment to comprehensive education, capacity building, and exchange of global expertise. We are excited about the journey ahead and the opportunities it will create for collective progress. Thank you once again and joining us today. It is now my pleasure to hand over to our colleagues at FAO.
Thank you so much, Captain John, for the opening remarks. One more time, we're very pleased to have Mississippi State University here with us. So now I would pass the mic to Captain Gianluca. He will give us a quick presentation on Agro-Informatics platform, including a live demo, what it is, and how we're using it in FAO. So Captain Gianluca, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Jana. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes,
and
we can.
I hope I share the correct screen. Okay. All right. So thanks a lot. I'm Captain Gianluca. I'm a biologist and a remote sensing expert. I will fly you through the platform for a few minutes. Now, the Agro-Informatics platform is really a bit the tip of the iceberg in an infrastructure that we have built for FAO in order to store, secure, structure, and share geospatial information that is produced in the organization. Imagine FAO being an organization that operates in hundreds of countries with national, but also regional and global projects. Not all of them produce geospatial data, but there is a large production of information. So the platform is really an opportunity to make sure that all the content and knowledge generated in FAO is secure and maintained and also made available for the users. As students, I think that one important message will be please explore the platform, play a bit with it, look at the content. I think there's a lot of information that is generated. As I said, is a bit the tip of the iceberg because there are many backend services that are generated in order to present the data, and without mention all the workflows and methodologies that generate the data themselves that can be very complex. And very pleased that some of this content has been generated also together with Mississippi State University. So the entry point of the platform is through the Explore data, where the information is organized through dedicated channels. So I give you just few examples of possible information that you'll find in the platform, maybe starting with a land cover. In this case, I will show you this land cover, which is in reality produced by the European Space Agency, just to give you an example of a possible also interaction with the data set. Here, in addition to the land cover, I will add another information, which is a global data set of some national boundaries. Let's take level 2, which correspond to district. So with these two data set, I can quickly generate an online analysis where I select any, I really taking one randomly, this district in Sudan, where I can launch the analysis through this button and will show me for the selected area the land cover types that are calculated by the system, and there will be a chart showing in a moment. So all the features of the platform are made available for users and generate dynamic results that can be then exported as a chart, as a table, allowing analysis. This is an example of a raster dataset that comes from remote sensing analysis, We have example of more complex data, complex in the sense that have different organizations. Let me take, for instance, one climatic data. I will take you this monthly precipitation. So in this case, the data set that you show has what we call a dimension, a temporal dimension, meaning that as a user, you can switch through different status of the data set. In this case, is monthly, but we manage, depending on the type of data, from daily to annual, multi-annual data set. And again, in this case, the analysis that we can do, again, I show in just a random polygon, will be a time series analysis where I can select a specific district that I just click on and take, maybe let's take a couple of years. And the system will be able to generate a time series, so a zonal statistics for those that are familiar with GIS that will show in a moment in a chart. This is another example of raster data, but we also have other types of data, in particular statistical data that have some geographic dimensions. So in this case, let me take some livestock data. In this case, I will use an example from FAOstat, which is one of the main statistical, actually, which is the most important statistical database. And here I can just select, in this case, this will be a country. I click on an administrative area and I can see expand the time series. In this case is for the cattle, but I mean, we can choose from the different selector all the different livestock species. We also manage point data, and also another example will be the animal health information. All this information is also well documented on the About This Data, which bring everything together within a common metadata catalog, which use an ISO standard for documentation, where you find the description of data, you find that if there's any resource constraint, you can download the data. Most of this data are publicly downloadable, and you can look, sorry, this was for the boundaries, but I mean, the concept is the same. Through the About This Data, you can see all the information that are related to the data. In addition, you can also interact with us through the Give Feedback button. You can write your name and your address, and you can provide feedbacks in terms of functionalities. We know things changes and there might be bugs, or there might have issues on data, or requesting new data that are not available, or even providing suggestions. So all these feedbacks reach one email that we manage, and we always provide answers, in many cases guiding you through the actual data owner. So in some cases, if we can reply ourselves directly. I stop here just to give you a flavor on the Agro-Informatics platform. Feel free to visit and to play with it, and I will be happy also to reply to some questions during these sessions. Over to you, Jana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Captain Gianluca. That was a fantastic overview of what amazing features the Agro-Informatics platform has. I shared our official website and the link to the platform itself in the chat. So we are encouraging everyone to give it a try. You can play around with the features. Just try whatever you find interesting. I would now give the mic over to Captain Misael, and he will guide us through the digital services portfolio and provide us with the live demo. So over to you, Captain Misael. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jana. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right, great. So let's talk about the digital services portfolio. So the digital services portfolio is a technical framework that allows implementation of mobile application to support and complement extension services. The main purpose of the digital services portfolio is to provide advisory messages for the farmers related to agricultural topics such as weather and crop calendar, livestock, post-harvest practices, and much more. FAO maintains the IT infrastructure while the content is created by national stakeholders. The project has originally started in 2017 in Senegal and Rwanda. Then it has implemented in Egypt, Jordan, Tanzania, and today we count 13 countries onboarded. The DSP is composed by two main tools, a mobile app for the farmers and an admin console for the national stakeholders. Through the admin console, the national stakeholders can do the content management and control the entire instance of the DSP. This is the main feature. This is the way we disseminate advisory services to the farmers. Every key message has to be simple, short, possibly actionable, and it's composed by a text, which is of course multilingual, and obviously the languages depends on the country. It's composed by a provider to give credits to the authority responsible for the key messages, and can be complemented by an image, a video, an audio, external links. Whenever a media is available, the specific icon is displayed next to the text. Now, the key messages are grouped by topics, and in the DSP we call the topics themes. As you can see from the screenshot, the way the key messages looks across the application is actually the same. At the beginning, the DSP had only 4 themes, weather and crop calendar, livestock, agri-market, and Nutri-Food, but later we had a feature called Theme Factory that allows the creation of custom themes based on the country's need. For example, in this screen you see a special theme named Aquaculture from Tanzania. Moving on, DSP is not only about content but also data, and this is where the GPS location plays a key role. The location is used to consume external services from the Agro-Informatics itself or other FAO tool, even external tools to complement the advisory messages with actual data. Now it's time for a very quick demo. Let me switch to the phone. So whenever you open the application and you are located in a country that has no custom implementation, you see what we call default content. And the default content is displayed with the 6 official UN languages. Navigate the DSP and navigate across the themes. It's pretty simple. It's just a matter of clicks. A feedback button is always available for the farmer to provide feedback. And feedback can be anonymous, but of course we encourage to share an email for a follow-up. Now I'm going to demo one of the themes, weather and crop calendar. This theme combines weather forecast for another digital public good, Met Norway, together with advisory messages that can be updated based on a regular basis that depends on the stakeholder involved, weekly, daily, and can behave as a sort of meteor bulletins. And also we have an integration with another FAO tool, which is called Crop Calendar. Here I'm using a default instance, so I see a country selector. I can eventually change the country. However, when you open the application with a custom implementation, you don't see the selector for the country, you just see the selector of the agroecological zones. So this theme displays what's available as a crop inside a specific agroecological zone. And together with that, it displays a crop calendar showing harvesting period and sowing period. In Sri Lanka, we expanded that crop calendar with also two additional process phases, land preparation and fertilization. And together with the crop calendar, the data are complemented by advisory messages. Other interesting themes that I can show you from the digital service portfolio is, for instance, the survey theme. This is a form that has been created for Haiti for a pandemic report of that happened in the country. This form can be controlled and managed by the national stakeholders in a way that can fit other purposes and collect information related to any kind of event. Last but not least, we recently implemented a theme called Farmer AI, where we took the knowledge, the key messages from 10 countries, and we put them together in an AI assistant. So the way this AI assistant works, so here you see a message from the chat history, but before going to that, this AI assistant works detecting the location of the farmer and tries to reply the farmer questions, like in this case, goats, with the knowledge for the specific country. Whatever is not available, the content display is from other countries, and the provided for that information is displayed. And also the AI tries to suggest some follow-up questions and allows the possibility to upload a picture. And when we upload a picture, the system tries to classify the picture. And once the item in the picture is identified, it replies with advisory messages from the knowledge base. So I think I can stop here and give back the floor to Jana. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our FAO captains for the clear and engaging walkthrough through the Agro-Informatics platform and the digital services portfolio. We've seen how these digital tools are supporting agriculture and research. And now I would like to turn to our incredible students from Mississippi State University, together with the FAO colleagues from London Water Division. They will be sharing their insights on accelerating FAO's global mission through data science and AI and professional development. As I mentioned in the chat, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box, or we will have a Q&A session and open discussion right after the students' presentations. We also have a guest star speaker who I will still keep as a secret. It's going to be a surprise. So stay tuned, and I would like to pass the mic to our students' crew. So over to you.
Thank you, Jana. As she just mentioned, we are going to highlight some of the work we've been doing with the Land and Water Division over the past several years. This work has been focused on working with them in the PI-EZ model, specifically on working with to optimize the code to where it runs more effectively. We've been using a lot of our tools here at MSU, along with the resources there at FAO, including our high-performance computing systems that our students have access to, and sharing those resources with our collaborators there in the Geospatial Unit of Land and Water. This has been a really, really good collaboration and partnership over the past several years, helping our students kind of learn more about what's going on at the global level and how to use their skills and what they're learning at Mississippi State University to make a difference in those areas. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Federica there with the Land and Water Division, and she can give us a little bit more background about FAO's role in this, and then Joshua, our student data science, will talk about some of the MSU's work, and then finally Ditsu will wrap it up, one of our educators, to highlight some of the professional development, some other work that's been going on through this collaboration with FAO over the past several years. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. My name is Federica Chiozza. I'm presenting today on behalf of the Geospatial Unit of the Land and Water Division. As said, anticipated by John, I will give you a quick introduction on how the partnership with Mississippi State University is supporting our activities, in particular, looking at the Global Agroecological Zoning Framework. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so, okay. As mentioned, the partnership with Mississippi for our team is focusing on the Global Agroecological Zoning Framework. This is a framework developed decades ago in collaboration with the International Institute of Applied System Analysis based in Austria, and is mainly used to assess agriculture suitability and potential under changing climate. This provides guidance for agroecological development at different scales, supporting also UN Sustainable Development Goals. Guides, so-called guides, is not just theoretical. It actively supports FAO mandates. Results from guides have been widely used to support flagship publications such as the SOLAV, the State of Land and Water Resources, the State of Food and Agriculture, and many other publications. But as mentioned, ISZ, the guides framework is also used at different scales, and the ISZ methodologies has been adapted for being applied at national level in various assessment with adaptation to suit local context. As you can imagine, this is a very complex system generating hundreds of thousands of layers and terabytes of data, mainly on land and water resources, agroclimatic resources, agroclimatic potential, suitability and attainable yield, and also information on production gaps. Originally, the guides methodology was built in Fortran, which limited its accessibility. Fortran is very powerful, but not easy to be shared or be adapted. While one of the need was making guides or IZ accessible to countries, enabling them to run analysis using their own local data. So this led us to develop PyEZ, which is a Python package for agroecological zoning. We started first in collaboration with the Asian Institute of Technology. PyEZ, as said, is a Python-based, so it's an open source package, and it is made of many different algorithms related to the IZ framework. And it is used to strengthen the in-country capacity to undertake IZ analysis using local data. This is very quickly a recent example on how PyEZ supported the participatory informal landscape approach project for Nigeria and Kenya, providing information on agroecological zoning and potential yield. And this is an example for maize in support of integrated land management. To scale PyEZ globally, we started a partnership, as said, with Mississippi with the objective of establishing a high-performance computing environment that allow PyEZ to run also a global scale, not only a national scale. With optimized memory use, we achieve, with the support of Mississippi, an increase, a speed increase on test domains, meaning that even also a global scale we can run analysis more efficiently. Practically, this means that we previously took what we previously took hours to be generated in terms of results now takes minutes. And this was accomplished through the collaboration with Mississippi, improving the efficiency of the Python code as well as implementing a parallelization technique. The partnership with Mississippi goes beyond computation, but this includes also a strong framework for collaboration, training, and knowledge sharing. With Mississippi, we had the opportunity of accessing Mississippi HPC resources. We have been trained on the use of these resources, and also Mississippi supported the generation and the delivery of Python-based training packages that allow practitioners to apply IZ methods directly. So in conclusion, the combination of guides, PyEZ, and our partnership with Mississippi is helping our work in the context of guides, PyEZ and IZ. So with this, I conclude my presentation and I give the floor to my colleagues from Mississippi for a more deep knowledge on computation activities. Thank you. I stop sharing.
I will go ahead and share. Okay, let's see this one. Does this look great? Can we
Yes,
see?
Joshua, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much. My name is Joshua King. I'm a data science student here at Mississippi State University. I want to thank Federico for giving an amazing background on PyAEZ. Takes a lot of that off of me here. She can explain that a little better as far as the global impact and how this partnership has been going on for a while. So I'll just do a very quick recap of that. Let me see. There we go. All right, so PyAZ, as we mentioned, is an agroecological zoning that went from Fortran to Python, and it's turning actionable insights, or it's turning data into actionable insights by assessing the capacity of Earth to produce food, essentially. This is broken down into 6 modules: climate regime, crop simulation, climate constraints, soil constraints, terrain constraints, and economic suitability analysis. Module 2 is what we are currently working on, as Federica had mentioned, which is crop simulations. So for the duration of the rest of my slides, we're going to be focusing in on crop simulation, how we're speeding this up, why acceleration matters, and how we're implementing HPC, parallelization, and some of these AI methodologies. So why does acceleration matter, right? That's the first question we always need to ask when we want to jump into a project like this. So data must move quickly. Data is now an integral part of agriculture. So the faster we can move data, the faster we can get an answer and a solution to a problem to help farmers. Ultimately, we want this to be happening in real time. We want simultaneously the question and then our answer. So acceleration also means accessibility. It's not just about how fast we can get our answers. It's also about allowing countries, regardless of infrastructure, regardless of high performance computing technology, we want everyone to be able to access these tools. And when a tool is optimized, when we limit the amount of RAM, make it run faster, it can also run on modern computers, modern laptops, the ones that we're all tuning into this Zoom now. And so we're making the FAA tools not just faster, but more accessible with countries of varying infrastructure. And in order to do this, it requires a partnership. So data science and applied AI are important to bring speed and optimization, but ultimately the FAO's context and expertise make real global solutions possible, highlighting the importance of this partnership and mutual exchange. While the FAO provides the data, the global tools, the context, and how to address agriculture and food insecurity efficiently, MSU can bring the optimization, the AI integration, and bring those data science methods to expand and accelerate their use. Oh, I didn't know I had another image there. So these are a few challenges we identified, and Federico mentioned one of these already. First is migration. So modernizing the AEZ for data science and AI. Fortran is an older coding language. Python is a lot more user-friendly. It's used for, you can use parallelization techniques really, really well. And another reason for this is also for continual growth, right? Data science and AI is an expanding field. It expands very fast. It's always changing day in, day out. So we want something that not only can we optimize now, but we can also optimize in the future, and we can continue to build and continue to grow alongside these modern technologies and making them more flexible and sustainable for the future. Part of this is then optimization. Once we create it in the structure that allows for growth, we now need to optimize this to get faster insights and again, make it accessible. So taking advantage of the high performance computing, parallel processing, we can dramatically reduce runtimes, making those systems more efficient, not only on supercomputers, but also on everyday devices around the world. And lastly, we want to build a framework. We don't just want a one-time solution. All right, so AI and data science is not just a one-time tool. We're going to implement it, and then everything is faster, right? We need to build this into an ecosystem, create the framework so we can continue to build on these processes. As computational power and AI methods continue to advance, that framework needs to be there to allow these tools to be woven into operations, which again ensures the ongoing growth, adaptability, and the ability to scale these solutions globally, as Frederica mentioned, not just running it on the country scale, but you can run data globally as well. So optimization. In order to optimize, the first thing we need to do is understand bottlenecks. We need to understand what makes code run slow, what increases our run times. So I want to start with optimization and bottlenecks, right? So bottlenecks is a key term. Think of it as a highway, and there's one lane, right? So sequential code, this is what PyAZ is currently, Module 2 currently is coded this way. Everything waits in line. So think of car 1 here is driving down this road, and this is a process. This is an operation we want to do. The second operation has to wait for car 1. The third one has to wait for car 2. And so everything happens in sequence. Everything waits in line. If car 1 is moving fast, then everything can move fast and there's no problem. A bottleneck, however, with sequential code is almost like a traffic jam on a highway. So if one process is taking, 45 minutes to run, your other processes that only take fractions of a second still need to wait 45 minutes for that first one to run. And so even if, 80% of your code is running in fractions of seconds, if one sequence takes 30 minutes, your whole code takes 30 minutes because you need to wait for everything to happen in sequence. So we can think of fixing bottlenecks as opening up more lanes on a highway when we think of parallelization. We're allowing multiple sequences to drive even if one is taking a long time or going a little slower. And so this can give us faster results without, we can add more data and still get faster results. It's not a matter of, more data is going to slow it down. So this is how it's a good analogy. When we look at an actual code example, just think of this lanes on a highway. We have sequential code. Everything has to wait. We can identify those bottlenecks. We want to identify the traffic jams, and then we want to think of a way to efficiently open up more lanes on the road and allow processes to run in parallel. So in order to do this, there's obviously high performance computing. You can use an HPC. Modern laptops also already have multiple cores in them. My computer has 32 cores. Some computers have 8. Most computers will have more than 1 though, essentially. So this is an example of Module 2 and how it's coded sequentially. This isn't the actual code. It's more of a breakdown that kind of explains it conceptually. So we're going cell-wise to run a crop simulation, run a screening, store these results, and then we move on to the next cell. And so we can see that what the code is doing is it says, okay, well, let me go to my first row, and there's 193 rows. And then for that row, I need to go to each cell or each column. Within that cell, I need to make sure I run a screening, run a full crop simulation, store those results in output arrays, and then I move on to the next cell. Now that I'm in the next cell, I need to do another screening, another full crop simulation, et cetera, and you do this for the entire row. Once you're done with that row, you then go to the next row. So this is going to process 32,000 cells, almost 33,000 cells just for, I think it's Laos. Laos has 33,000 cells in it alone. And it's doing this one at a time, cell by cell. So let's think about opening up more lanes and optimizing this with parallelization and accessing multiple cores. Again, this when I say multiple cores, think of this as either on your computer or again using an HPC to access this. What we can do now is we can create a list of all those cells. So we know we have cell 0, 0, 0, 1 for all of the first row, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 for all the second row. We can now distribute all these cells across all of our cores. So you can see, for example, here, core 1 is going to process the first cell all the way to cell 4098. Core 2 is going to process the next, and we split this up across all 8. Now, within each of those cores, it's doing the screening, the simulation, exactly as we were before, but now they can all work in sequence, and they're all doing it at the exact same time. So now instead of doing 33,000 cells one at a time, we have 8 cores processing 4,000 cells, and we can dramatically speed up the rate at which we can do these computations and also reduce the amount of stress we put on our memory. So let's see what this looks like. To do this, we created what we call SPOT, which is a smart parallelization and optimization tool. The way SPOT works is in multiple levels. again, I mentioned we want to allow for a framework, right? Not a one-time tool. So it's the smart parallelization and optimization tool framework. So the framework at how you would apply this, which allows you to develop and kind of jump in at whatever your infrastructure level is. So for level 1, we're going to quickly scan thousands of lines of code to first detect bottlenecks. This is the first step. Before you can fix a bottleneck, you need to know where they're at, right? And this could take months of manual optimization, which would be, a whole bunch of developers looking through lines of code, seeing where we have loops, where we have a lot of computational time. And we can do this in a few hours of running the code or developing the code and running it. At level 1 for module 2, simulating irrigated crop cycle and simulating rain-fed crop cycle are two functions that showed up as, having loops, having nested loops, having a long sort of structure and how the code was built. These two functions are the primary functions of module 2. This is what is actually simulating the crop cycles. At level 2, what we do is we now actually run a runtime analysis. Sometimes there might be code that is structured in a way that would highlight it as a bottleneck, again, like loops or nested loops, but they might not run for a long time, right? They might not actually be where the computational slowdown is happening. So we also want to run runtime analysis, profile the code as it's running so we know where these runtimes are bogging down. And we can see at level 2, the irrigated crop cycle takes 35 minutes, which is about 50% of the runtime, and the rain-fed took 34 minutes, which is 49%. That's almost 100%, right? There's a few rounding errors in here, I'm sure. But we're leaving about 1% for actual computation, mathematics, plotting, etc. So we know that we want to target these two functions. At level 3, we can connect to AI to suggest optimized code using an agentic coding method. Agentic means that you're using AI agents which assist in the coding process. So what we can do is after we prioritize which slowdowns are creating the long run times, we can extract that section of code. We can provide that section of code to an agentic coding software, and it can create an optimized code, make sure that there's no errors, and we can take that and put it back in our code and almost a copy and paste, just plug and run it, and see acceleration almost instantly. I did this. We did this as a team, and we saw that with the irrigated crop cycle, we got it from 35 minutes to run in 4 minutes, and we have rain-fed to 4 minutes as well. That's 88% faster run times when we use parallelization. We open up more lanes, and we can connect to HPCs and multiple cores. So while, again, I want to touch on this partnership again. We're accelerating the code to make it run faster. Again, speed is an integral part of decision making, making sure that we can go from data to solution as quickly as possible. But then it's also about shaping this in a way that we can allow for continued growth. Part of that is not only creating a system, but part of that is also creating the individuals that know how to manage, know how to look at these systems, and think in a way that can allow them to keep progressing, keep optimizing different code. And so part of that is training, and we need to train individuals to be a part of this framework. So I'm going to pass this over to Dixie, who was in charge of this Python training initiative to create those individuals that are data science literate and aware to make these systems work.
Well, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. And for giving that great overview. And yes, as part of this collaboration, MSU has been working with FAO, and I had the opportunity to actually be in Rome and work with the NSL group last year from September to December. And during that time, we facilitated 6 online professional development trainings for FAO staff. And the goal of the trainings was basically to build both foundational and advanced skills in Python programming to directly support some of these program initiatives they have going on. So we offered 2 main courses. The first was Python Getting Started. This was an 8-hour introductory course designed to help participants set up their Python environment and begin working with key skills such as handling tabular data, cleaning data sets, using data frames, and analyzing map shape files. The second training, Python Learn by Doing, was a more advanced course. It was a 12-hour course that gave participants hands-on experience applying computational, statistical, and machine learning techniques to real-world data sets that included both climate and geospatial data. Together, these courses combined, they created a clear path for those who were interested that allowed participants to progress from the beginner level, building Python skills all the way to more advanced applications. Next slide. In terms of participants, the training was very strong. We had a total of 107 participants over the 6 trainings that registered. Of those, about 65% engaged in the training, meaning they completed at least 1 or more of the training modules. A total of 50 FAO employees went a step further and actually completed all the training modules and earned an official MSU certificate of completion. And I must say that the trainings were truly global. We were very happy. We had participants represented from 16 different countries that spanned across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Also, we saw wide engagement across FAO itself with staff from 12 different divisions and regional offices taking part. So very proud of that, very happy that we had that global reach across the world and within FAO, a very broad reach. In terms of some of the key achievements and what we'd like to see in next steps, one of our key achievements was basically successfully onboarding international participants to MSU's Canvas Learning Platform. This is something that, we hadn't done before through our division, but we were able to get that done, and it was a process, but everything went very well. Also, the courses were very well received. Participant evaluations showed consistently across the board. They described the training content as very relevant to their work and the materials as very effective in building their Python skills. And perhaps most importantly, these trainings sparked enthusiasm for more trainings. Participants expressed strong interest in expanding their learning, especially in areas like satellite image processing, advanced machine learning and artificial intelligence, as well as geospatial analysis. So hopefully by building this Python foundation, we've helped to strengthen both the technical skills and the collaboration within FAO. And we're really looking forward in hopes that we can continue this partnership in terms of training and getting some of these additional things to the people of FAO. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Dixie, Joshua, and Federica. It was really insightful and very inspiring presentations, and how you highlighted the FAO's global mission through data science, AI, and professional development. I think it's very clear that the future of agriculture is in very capable hands. And I would also like to thank you for highlighting how collaborations are important and crucial in these kind of initiatives. Now I would like to turn over to our next part of the session, which is an open discussion and the Q&A, which my colleague Elena will moderate and lead. However, before we have our guest star speaker, Mr. Tabi Yoda, he is a founder of 1 Billion Trees for Africa, an internationally recognized advocate for agroforestry, climate resilience, and ecosystem restoration. Through his work, Tabi has empowered communities across Africa to plant not only trees, but also opportunities, transforming landscapes, restoring livelihoods, and inspiring hope. Tabi's vision is simple, yet very powerful, that restoring nature is restoring dignity and creating a sustainable future for generations to come. I had the opportunity to work with Tabi for many years. Welcome, Tabi. I hope you can hear us, and the floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Yana. Thank you to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining from across the globe, wherever you are. It is so amazing and true that digital tools are magical. So beautiful how I can instantaneously connect with Yana all the way from Rome, and Federica, Joshua King, and of course, Diggsy, who has presented very beautiful perspectives that are really inspiring. I truly believe that the future of agriculture is positive. I am Tabi Joda. It is true, very, very huge an honor for me to be here today to speak with you and in a space that brings together one very beautiful family on an agenda that is urgent to the world today: food, agriculture, humanity, and of course, what the objective of this is all about: to build sustainable food systems and resilient communities in the face of climate change is not an easy task. But as I said earlier, the future of agriculture is positive. That means there is hope. And I thank the organizers for creating this platform for dialogue and action with massive impact already felt right here by critical mass in the continent of Africa, where I work most oftenly and regularly in the Sahel. You know, all the Sahel where the heat, the impact of heat, the impact of land degradation, the impact of desertification and drought are actually hampering very much on agriculture like no other place on earth. As founder of 1 Billion Trees for Africa and ambassador of the Great Green Wall, my work has been shaped by a simple belief: restoring nature is restoring hope. Every tree that we plant is more than a seedling. It is food, it is water, it is shade for us to harbor ourselves when it's so hot and very uncomfortable to bear. It is as well livelihood. It is an investment in resilience as well for families, for farmers, and future generations. You'll agree with me that in all these lies the true value of food. If we are unable to find the true value of food, then all efforts are in vain, because finding the true value of food, what food actually means, what it means as a shade, what it means as water, what it means as livelihood, what it means as investment, is actually what I could deduce from all the divergent conversations that you all were sharing, how we can truly define and redefine and shape food to become that true positive solution to the challenges of humanity. But we must agree also that restoration is not only about trees and ecosystems and sustainable land management. It is about empowering people, especially youth and women, to lead with knowledge, creativity, and innovation, most needed to achieve all the beautiful aspirations that we are all sharing today, as you all have shared. And of course, to bring critical action in harnessing the capacity to achieve climate-smart agriculture, agroforestry, digital tools together, so we create the opportunities for farmers to thrive, not just to survive. It is not enough to survive. The possibilities and the opportunities to thrive must be at the back of these efforts that we are putting together. But we must also agree that when we bring agroforestry and climate-smart technologies and digital tools together, we actually harness the opportunities to achieve and move forward from the bottlenecks like the gentleman actually presented earlier. Technology is a powerful enabler, from mobile apps that deliver real-time weather data to platforms that connect farmers to markets, to digital solutions that help transform challenges into opportunities. I'm speaking from Africa, where I've empowered more than 5,000 young farmers and women in the whole region of the Sahel. I can see evidently how these digital tools are already evidently impacting youth and farmers who work in the Sahel and are able to connect to buyers and connect to other opportunities in the global economy right now. Those transforming cashew into finished products and those transforming tomatoes into paste are already connecting with buyers and markets in other parts of the world. This evidently proves the power of digital tools, digital technology. Yes, yet these tools must be inclusive. They must reach smallholders in remote areas and those at the end of the miles, and giving every young person a chance to contribute. Equity is key. The lessons I have learned is clear. Collaboration is our greatest strength. Governments, innovators, civil society, multilateral agencies, communities must actually work together side by side in collaborative action to deliver tangible, measurable, and actionable impact from the policy to the scientific and of course the practice level, so that all these brings well-meaning impact on the lives of those who are mostly impacted, who are either on the margins of these changing climatic conditions or food driven by land degradation or food drought, or food that is impacted by post-harvest challenges or disasters or any other hazard that lies on the path to thriving. So let us keep planting and reimagine the future, bringing together knowledge, resources, and vision, so we don't just fight climate change, we reimagine the future. I wish to remind you that let us ensure that what we leave behind is not depletion, but abundance, not despair, but hope. And one life of any farmer, of any young person, of any woman that is impacted or that is impacted by these extreme conditions of either food shortage or post-harvest loss or any form of hunger or poverty or food insecurity is one life too much. And we must come together as a matter of urgency, not fear. Let us ensure that what we leave behind is truly the legacy that will enable our ability to not only come together, but also to enable people's lives to thrive. There is no dream or envision, policy or scientific technology or action that we cannot achieve if the good minds of the world come together. At this point, I wish to thank every one of you who has listened to this, but let the message be clear. We should make efforts that do not only deliver ability to survive, but the ability for people to thrive. Those who have lost hope to have hope. Those who live in despair, they should be able to have prospect and have a hopeful, sustainable, and a thriving future. Thank you very much.
So much, Tabi. That was a very inspirational speech. Really, thank you very much for your insights, and it's been a great honor to have you here as our guest star speaker. I've entered it in the chat if someone wants to learn more about Tabi's organization in the chat, and now I will pass the mic to our moderator, Alana, for the discussion part. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tabi and Yana. And a huge thank you to the crew from Mississippi State University. Your passion, creativity, and knowledge are truly inspiring, and it's been such a privilege to hear about the exciting developments you're bringing to the world of agriculture. Now we are moving into the next part of our event, questions and open discussion. And this is your chance to engage with the ideas shared, ask questions, and dive deeper into the topics that have sparked your curiosity. I encourage everyone to be as interactive as possible. This is space for dialogue, so feel free to share your thoughts, reflections, and of course, questions for our student presenters and FAO experts. We'll take questions one at a time, so please raise your virtual hand, and if you have something you'd like to ask or feel free to type your questions in the chat, which we are monitoring. I already see Tabi has his virtual hand up. Tabi, would you like to ask first question?
Yeah, thank you very much. I was really thrilled to hear these beautiful perspectives, as I said earlier in my comment, from colleagues from the global north and from other parts of the world, especially those from the academia. I was just wondering if some of their analyses or perspectives actually include the trends or current reality in Africa today in relations to food and digital technology. Are we seeing a growing digital divide, or are we seeing an increasing digital bridge that is connecting and leveraging other tools to make these efforts actually more harnessed, more sustainable, more inclusive, as I said in my statement? Apart from that, also, the second question goes to, is it Joshua? You know, have you had any experience with directly with farmers on the field, on the ground, to understand how they feel, how they perceive technology, especially with relations to some of the perspective that you shared? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tabi, for the questions. I guess first question can go both to the university presenters or our FAO experts. So if anyone wants to volunteer to answer the first question, and then we'll give the floor to Joshua.
Maybe, Elena, if you want, I can take this easy question. Okay, in terms of digital divide in Africa now, I am talking about the agro-informatics, but also about my personal experience. Now, in the agro-informatics, we have most of the metrics are related to food and agriculture on the various, let's say, perspectives, whether it's water, soil, land. But we also have a number of data sets related to socioeconomics and, for instance, accessibility, transportation, etc., etc. Particularly for digital divide in terms of statistics of users, so connectivity, etc. I think we have something, but is not our strong focus. So all the data that goes into the Agro-Informatics platform are either data that are produced by the FAO or data that are needed by specific applications, and probably I personally use this kind of statistics more for focused project formulation. And this is for, let's say, for the Agro-Informatics platform. For the part that is related to my own experience, as I worked in many trainings, both in Africa, mainly in Africa and in Asia, I see that and again, I'm referring only to the experience on the use of GIS and remote sensing. The availability of technologies, softwares, data open up the space also, and I think that reduce the digital divide, or at least reduce the effort to start working with this kind of technologies. In the past was complex even to get the software. Now there is open softwares, there are online platforms to manage remote sensing data. There's plenty of tutorials available everywhere, and of course there is AI that help really to, I mean, even in some cases develop workflow. My experience is that working with African teams, their understanding and their capability of processing is much more advanced respecting the future, and is closer to other regions of the world. Thank you.
Michelle, would you like to add something?
Thank you, Len. So actually, reaching the last mile, the farmer, is exactly the challenge that the DSP is trying to achieve. So to do so, when a DSP is implemented in a country, the content is created by the national stakeholder, as I mentioned in the presentation. And that is a very key part in a way that the advisory messages that reach the farmer have to be simple, which seems an easy thing, but actually it's very challenging to it's very difficult to create, to take from the technical documents and knowledge and make something that is actually actionable on the field from a farmer. And also connecting to what Gianluca was saying, the Agro-Informatics platform contains a lot of data, and but another challenge we are trying to solve is to try to take part of the data and make it available to the farmers, trying to give and to make that data actionable for something that the farmer might do or not do in a specific moment on the field. And actually, this is something that requires a commitment and also the key role it's play on the field by the stakeholders involved as well.
Thank you very much, Michelle, for your response. If no one would like to add anything to the first question of Tabi, we can move to Joshua.
Yeah, sounds great. I want to start by just saying it's a wonderful question, Tabby, and thank you for asking. I think it also raises another really good topic of discussion when we talk about data science and AI and sort of the integration of this, and that has to do with the collaboration, like we mentioned, and also the family. You can't, as a data scientist, just make these models or, suggest suggest solutions to people without actually having discussion with the root, which are the farmers, right? They are the main point of our conversation. So we can't just be mindless in giving suggestions without actually talking to the farmers and engaging with them. And so to answer your question, at a global scale, unfortunately, I've not been, on the field with the farmers, but in personal endeavors locally, I always try my best to engage in conversation with local farmers, invite them to give their insights, learn from them. And I think that is one of the most important things in this field is being able to learn from those that you're also trying to provide solutions to. So thank you for that question. And yeah, I try my best to engage, but on a global scale, unfortunately, I've not been able to be there. So yeah.
Hopefully in the near future.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Joshua. That was a great answer.
Ellen, maybe I can complement from our side the work we are doing just to reach these additional steps toward local scales, towards farmer. Although the activity with Mississippi State University is mainly focused on global scale analysis and results, this is fundamental because in order to reach farmers and generate results at local scale, so we need the support of Mississippi in order to make these approaches and methodology more efficient, because of course running results on crop suitability that would be beneficial to be known from farmers cannot be done at local scale if we don't have efficient methodology and tools that can be also run on local scale. So the work that Mississippi is doing is fundamental in order to speed up the process and then ensure that also a local scale farmer can click on an app and run efficiently analysis on crop suitability using climate data and local knowledge.
Thank you, Federica. We definitely are aware of these challenges, but hopefully with our work, we can make it easier for the farmers, and we can obviously keep learning much more from them. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to raise your hand. If anyone wants to add any comment also before we close the event, please feel free to. I see Shala. Would you like to ask a question or give a comment, please?
Yes. First of all, thank you for very nice presentations, all the speakers. And I'm happy to be here. I had one question from, again, Joshua. Today, we point to Joshua. I wanted to understand better this parallel computation. When we run parallel computation and devoting each core for different lines of code, so I wonder if this sector of the lines for each core, if they are not interconnected, it is possible. I mean, if the output of the first section is input for the second section, how we can do this job? This was my question. I understand if they are not interconnected and at the end they come together and you can do this. But if they're interconnected sequentially, how we can handle with parallel computing? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's oftentimes kind of a challenge when we look at parallelization and trying to optimize code. So there's a few things. It's exactly like you said. It's very situational, and it's one of the challenges when we're looking through the code is understanding, can it be parallelized? Sometimes parallelization is used for a certain like a certain task. So again, in this case, we could parallelize it. Everything's running in individually. It doesn't require input from something else. And in the situation where you do have input, parallelizing something like that is typically not going to be the answer to that solution when stuff is reliant and dependent on other operations running. However, you can, in some cases, take the screening, for example. Within each cell, you have to run a screening, and then you have to run a simulation, and then store the data. Those are independent, and so we're not parallelizing the cell operations. We're still keeping the cell operations sequential and then parallelizing each cell's individually. So sometimes if there are things that are required to be sequential, we can parallelize larger processes and then let those other things that are dependent stay dependent. There's also what we can do if it's computational. If there is a sequence, sometimes the slowdown is not the iteration of something. The speed issue would be that the computation is very complex. Sometimes what we can do there is we can do vectorization. That's just taking your typical algebraic expressions and turning them into matrix operations, and you can run calculations a lot faster on arrays as opposed to just equations. So it's definitely, it goes situation to situation. You have to, have all these tools in your toolbox and apply them to the right question. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I need to understand better what you recommended for other situations. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joshua, for responding to the question. I see Tabby has his hand up. Tabby, would you like to ask another question?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a little bit general, but more specific to the FAO team. I have seen how much, which I also reiterated in my keynote, the power of collaboration. And how can we move forward? Because this is a very beautiful initiative and a platform and a scientific opportunity of our time, especially given the colossal nature of hazards, food hazards, post-harvest losses, and even pre-farming hazards that affect a lot of community, mostly smallholder farmers. How can collaboration actually be deepened or really strengthened to a very large extent where this becomes not just interfacing between institutions and policy people, scientific community and practice community, but far beyond that. And then two, we are seeing an increasing challenge with more land being torn down to produce food. You know, that's the more deforestation, deliberate deforestation happening for a very good purpose, to plant food, to plant more to grow more food, to feed the increasing global population. How can we leverage, I mean, this is still to FAO, leverage this tool to inform and like educate and create more awareness to farmers in terms of the dynamics around the win-win that needs to be, the win for the forest and the win for the food that we need to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabi. Gianluca, Misael, would you like to?
Yes, thanks, Elena. Okay, now the platform that we presented is about bringing data together. However, the overall objective is really to bring people together. So the platform itself is a way to enhance collaboration. In starting with FAO technical divisions and country offices, because we are representing an organization, but we also which has a huge amount of projects, works, and for many years, and again, I'm talking about geospatial data, one of the main criticisms was working on silos and not being able, even internally, to have data not only actionable, but even documented, structured, and connected. Thanks to the agro-informatic technologies, we are now far from that period. Data are no longer in silos. The storage is much more cost effective, and most of the data are fully publicly available. And I say most of the data because there are some data that are restricted, but I mean that's not depending on the technology. We also collaborate with external partners, so we beyond the FAO. Recently, I think also with some university, for instance, with the University of Twente, we have developed a platform for an initiative called City Regions. So I think that the best way to start collaboration is by if you have data that are of interest of the food and agricultural sector, feel free to contact us. We are very happy to publish this data. If you need a specific platform that follows our common agro-informatic technology, also we can think of something similar as we did for other researches and other collaboration. For the second questions regarding the deforestation and how to reach farmers, that's really not my topic. So I don't know, Misael, if DSP has anything related also to forest management, or if other want to pick these questions.
Thank you, Gianluca. I just follow up quickly and I say that right now in the 13 countries where it has been implemented, we don't have a specific theme for the deforestation. However, there was a discussion for Brazil related to Amazonia a long time ago, but the project was not implemented. But there was this discussion and the need to have something related to the topic. Over.
Thank you, Misael. Yana, would you like to
Yes, thank you, Elena. I would like to add a few things on Tabby's first question regarding the collaborations. So I think that I would first provide a little bit of background why this initiative Travel Around the World was actually created. We wanted to really connect the academia and research world with the digital tools that FAO has to offer, because I think there was a really a gap that was not filled. So this initiative is really was focusing on how to connect these two worlds together, because these two worlds are the future, basically. So what we're doing here, Tabi, with this initiative is that each month we're having one stop around the world. It's also that you can see that we have all these fun backgrounds as we're really traveling. So the captains, the student crew, and so on. And we really want to give the opportunity and the possibility not only to our experts, but to the universities and to the students to showcase their work, their experience, and engage directly with the audience that are, for example, students from other universities. And we're taking this as a two-way learning process. So we're learning from the students from the universities, and they're learning from us. So I think that whoever is joining these sessions might spark a collaboration. It's really like we're aiming to create like a forum that has the chain reaction. So for each session, the students and the participants from previous universities and previous sessions are invited to the next one, and to the next one, and the next one. So I think that this was just a quick overview why this was created, because it was really based on enhancing collaborations between these two worlds of academia, research, and FAO, and connecting the experts that maybe they would not be connected in any other way. So thank you for mentioning the word collaboration so much, because we all know it's really important. That's all, Elena. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jana. If there are no further questions, I will close this session here. Thank you all for your questions, for your responses. And I will give the floor back to Jana.
Thank you so much, Elena. I think this was a very interesting session, and really thank you so much for the presentation from Federica, Joshua, and Dixie. I think we all learned a lot. I would like to now move to the closing remarks. I would hand over first to Captain Gianluca, then Captain Misael, and then Captain John. So Captain Gianluca, over to you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jana. Maybe my first message is for you, Misael and myself. One of the beautiful t-shirts from Mississippi State University, the one that Joshua is wearing. So that's a message delivered to you. Now, my takeaway message was exactly the comment from Tabi regarding the collaboration, and I think that's I mean, we already reply for those students that are following this session, or they will access the recording of the sessions. For those that are interested on the remote sensing and GIS, you will find on the platform an awful amount of data and applications on food and agriculture. But also for those that are not interested, might be the curiosity to see what geospatial applications in FAO and beyond are produced. I think that can be a very interesting exercise. So I just encourage you to experiment, to play with the platform, but in particular to play with the data, and feel free to provide feedback to us or to contact us. I will be very happy to interact with you. Thank you.
All right, I think it's on me right now for the final remarks. Okay, so thank you, everyone. And I just want to say that still the challenge that the DSP is tackling to bring information to the farmer requires collaboration and effort from everyone. So this meeting is actually a very nice opportunity to connect and explore potential collaboration that might bring something useful on the field. Over. Thank you.
And I just, from Mississippi State, I just want to echo the gratitude and the thanks to everyone who's been a part of this. This has been a great experience or a great meeting participation today. Thank you so much to our speakers, all three of you. You did a wonderful job kind of showing this collaboration. What it's built is, it helped not only just be to inspire us to go and do more, but it's also give us things to think about. And what we've heard today really underscores the importance of bringing together our youth and our students, our educators, our researchers, and our partners around the world to gain and share knowledge and ideas. This really helps with the future of change. We can collaborate to make this change, and the energy and the creativity that this brings is, innovation is not just conformed to our classrooms. That's shown here. We have to get out, and it happens with these varied and diverse voices from all backgrounds when they come together to solve these shared challenges that we have in all these different fields related or aspects related to agriculture and food security. And that's one of the things that really emerged from this was just the role of climate smart agriculture and digital innovation in shaping the future of our food and agricultural systems. It's having to build resilience to reducing emissions and securing livelihoods. These practices are showing us a pathway forward. It require commitment and a continued investment in both the people and the technology to scale these as we continue to build. And that's one thing at Mississippi State University, we're proud to support these efforts to equip this next generation of our students with these skills and tools and the networks that they lead. These discussions reaffirm that when our students and our youth are empowered and they're engaged in this, that they contribute to solutions. They just don't contribute to solutions, they drive them. There's one thing here at Mississippi State, we have this saying that we have the Mississippi State and part of our land grant mission. It doesn't matter if it's here within Mississippi, within the region, or even globally, is that, our focus is to take care of what matters. And I think this collaboration and what is shown here really emphasizes that Mississippi State is committed to taking care of what matters, whether it's here in Mississippi or whether it's across the globe. So with that, I just encourage all of us as we leave this, and from what I've seen and learned here, to carry that energy forward and, in your conversations and with what we're doing daily to kind of keep building this and keep moving forward. And again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Yana, for all this. This has been wonderful, very well put together, very informing. Even though I'm involved with some of this, I still, every time I come, I learn something to take away. So thank you, and best wishes.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the beautiful closing remarks. I shared the information when is the next stop. It's actually this Friday, but I know it's very close to today's session, but we're having a lot of events in October, so I'm encouraging everyone to join as well our LinkedIn group where where we are posting the latest news. And I hope to see everyone at our next virtual stop, which is with South Africa and Stellenbosch University. So please make sure that you register, and I'll be sharing the information with all of you very soon. So thank you very much and have a lovely rest of today. Thank you.
Thank you.